Christmas may be over, but there is one more Christmas thing that I recommend that you do. A post-mortem. Let's talk about that. Hey Teachable Spirits, I'm Pam, and I give pep talks. Not TED Talks, but pep talks. Today is day 95 of 100 days of posting, the last 100 days of 2024. After a big event, I said to somebody, okay, now we need to do a post-mortem. And they looked at me like I was crazy. Apparently, they didn't know that a post-mortem is a real thing that companies, businesses do after a big project is over or a big event. Basically, a post-mortem is a meeting that you do after a big thing is done, where you talk about what went well, what didn't go well, celebrate what was accomplished, do some planning for next time. And I really think that Christmas qualifies for doing a post-mortem. So, Christmas. A lot of planning goes into Christmas, doesn't it? If you're watching this, I'm guessing that you are at least somewhat like me and that you have put a lot of time into planning everything that went into it. I have made a number of videos this Christmas season about like brainstorming for the Christmas season and various aspects of it. And so and like all of that mental energy that went into it, there was a lot there of like figuring stuff out. And while it's fresh in my mind, I want to make sure that I have like recorded what worked, what I plan to do next year, so that I don't have to figure it all out again. If there's one thing I hate, it is doing the same thing twice, unnecessarily. If I had a thing figured out, I try to remember to make sure to write down all the details of it so I don't have to figure it out again. It's a waste of time, energy, sometimes money even. So while everything is fresh, I'm going to take a look at the gift list that I made for this year. And just because I made that list does not necessarily mean that that was what I ended up purchasing, or that I felt like that really went well. And maybe I had ideas about what I would do next time, even as I was doing it, or directly after. I often stress more about the gifts than the effort that it actually took. Does that make sense? Like sometimes something is bigger in our mind than it really turns out to be. But if I have already figured out what I'm going to do for next year, at least the plan that I have in mind, and like when you're in that space, then you know what would actually work. So like one of the things that I did to make life easier for me is that I made some Chex Mix. It's called Christmas crack and it is addicting, but I made like a big batch of it and I put it in little bags and I gave it to my students and to my coworkers, and it was like extremely well received. Like every single person was like, oh, I love that stuff. There is no reason I couldn't do it again next year or something similar. It went so well. I enjoyed doing it. It was not that difficult. And it was just a good little gift. So I'm going to do that again next year. And I thought about some other people who that would have also worked for. So I'm going to make sure that I have that recipe like linked in my notes. I use Google Keep for all of my notes. It may not be the most efficient thing, but it works for me. And so I'll make sure that I've got the right recipe linked. I do have it printed out with some notes, handwritten notes. I'm going to take another look at that, just make sure I've got everything in there. I might even snap a picture of that so that in case something happens to it, because I do not want to have to rethink it. Like I even weighed out each bag so that they'd be even. Like that was just easier for me because I do have a kitchen scale. I just weighed out each one. So I said like this double batch made this many treat bags with this many grams in each one. I don't want to have to figure that out again. And next year, if I have a different number of students or a different number of friends, coworkers, whatever that I'm giving these little treat bags to, it'll be easy for me to figure out exactly how much I need to make. So that's just one example. Another example is that for Christmas Eve, we get together with my husband's side of the family. And while we were there, I got the idea and proposed it that, hey, this is just an idea. What if we did Christmas brunch, like a Christmas Eve brunch, instead of a lunchtime thing, just to shake up the foods? It's only shifting it by probably a couple hours earlier. And everybody that I talked to was like, yeah, that actually sounds great, because many of them actually had other gatherings to go to in the evening, and it was like big heavy meals at each thing. And so if you did a brunch, that gives you more space in between eating wise and visiting. You don't have to feel like you're going to rush off as much. So I'm going to make sure that I write that down as an idea for next year, because I am involved in the planning of that. Another thing that worked well was making sure that my Amazon wish list had lots of different things on it that I was excited about getting. Leading up to my birthday, which was in October, I make sure that I've got some things that I'm considering for purchase. That's one list that I have on Amazon, is considering to purchase. I start moving things to my actual wish list that is sent to family members, so that they have some things that they know that I would like. I start putting lots of different things in there, various prices, but things that I really would like to have that I might buy for myself, but I'm giving them an opportunity to purchase them. One of them is this fabulous purple fuzzy robe. It is so nice and warm. This was actually the last thing that I added to my wish list. And it, one day I'm just like, I am tired of being cold. A robe would be just the thing. So I got on Amazon, found this one, and I love it. So my daughter got this for me, and it's so, so, so warm. So clearly communicating the gifts that I would like to have has worked really well the past few years. My husband chooses to just ask for an Amazon gift card. He doesn't usually want anything in particular and doesn't want to just put something on the list just for the sake of putting it on the list. And so for him, even though it sounds very boring to get a gift card, I mean, I love gift cards. Don't get me wrong. I love gift cards, but I really just, having an actual thing to open on Christmas, I really enjoy that. So anyways, I'm going to make myself a note that he really was happy about it. And so not to pressure him, to not to put on him pressure, because he really he would rather have the gift card to use as things came up than to try to pick something that he really doesn't need or want at the time. And so I need to remember, and I'll make myself a note, that really is what he wants. And just give him give him and my kids a deadline. Put things in your Amazon wish list by this date. And I want to make sure that it is a bit earlier, because that was something that I did not stress this past year. While we're doing a postmortem here, I did not stress the deadline. And I watched the Black Friday deals come and go. They still had good deals on Amazon, but like the best deals, I watched them come and go because the wish lists were not updated. I had mine updated, but they were not in the mind frame of making the purchases yet, but whatever. I need to remember next year to make sure that I set a deadline mid-November, so that it's before the Black Friday sales start on Amazon and other places. I'm glad that they don't just do one day anymore. Sometimes after I have already made decisions on things, I realize later that something else would have been better, but it's too late. And I think, okay, for next year, I'm going to do this. So I make a note. And I do go back and look at those notes. I have them all clearly titled and organized. I can just do a search for Christmas and it'll get them. See, that's the thing, is if you write notes, you need to have an organized way that you store them so that you'll be able to find them and use them again. There's no point in making them if you're not going to be able to refer back to them. So you want to look at what worked, what didn't work. In doing that, you're going to be looking at what you would do next year. So that's like a little bit of pre-planning while you're still in that mode. Don't let it go too long, because you'll forget. You think you won't, but you will. It might even be something that's not tangible. It may be something that you learned. Like maybe you went to a family gathering and you learned that, I don't know, a certain thing really bothers somebody, or you need to remember not to talk about whatever around this person. Or if you go to this person's house, you need to make sure that whatever. Anything that you want to remember for next time that this comes around, jot it down. Finally, I want you to pause and celebrate, because this was a big thing. Christmas is no small thing. It is one of the biggest celebrations of the year. It takes a great deal of work. I mean, it does for me anyways, and I try to keep it as simple as possible. There's the decorating, there's the gift buying, there's the events that maybe you attend or participate in. Maybe you're part of special musical things or special charitable events. Maybe you have kids or grandkids who are in special programs that you attended. All of that has a lot of planning that goes into it. Special outfits and practices and. There have been foods to make, gifts to wrap, movies to watch, all the things that we brainstormed way back in November. All of that has been done, or maybe it all didn't get done. That's okay. Maybe the biggest burden for you is actually an emotional burden. That this has been a difficult season for you. Maybe it's always difficult. Maybe it's difficult for the first time because of a loss. I want you to sit in that. Whatever it is, however it went, and celebrate that you made it through. Celebrate. You made it through. Maybe you just endured it. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe you reveled in it and it was fantastic and all of the work was nothing because you love it so much. Celebrate that you did it. Wherever you are, however it went, maybe you did all kinds of planning and you had all kinds of expectations and dreams and it didn't go very well at all. It's okay. Focus on the positive. It's over. You don't have to worry about it for another 11 months or so. That's okay. But whatever the win was, if people enjoyed the gifts that you gave them, if they complimented you on your famous dessert, if you got all of your presents wrapped 2 weeks early, if you were up wrapping till the wee hours of the morning before Christmas, we're here. You made it through. Celebrate that. Just sit and think about it. So do a postmortem. What worked? What didn't work? Keep some records. Make some plans for next year. Celebrate that you have done all of this. And then put it away for next year. Let's do some habits together. So, this goes right along with gratitude. Thinking about, having an attitude of gratitude. So, what are you thankful for? Today, I want to say that I am thankful for time with family. Past couple days, we've been able to spend some time with family, and I'm thankful for it. It was a lot of work to get there, lots of cooking, but it was all good. It's all delicious. We've got some leftovers to get through in the next few days. I'm looking forward to making a pimento cheese, a grilled pimento cheese sandwich. I've been kind of dreaming about that. I think I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, what are you thankful for? Here's the chain. Oh, and look, there's a sneak peek at my new tree bag. It came along with my new ornament storage bag. I talked about that in my the video I made the other day about minimizing my Christmas tree in the 11th hour. Still loving the tree. It was so nice to put the Christmas presents all around the base of it. All right. Let's also breathe. And as you breathe, I want you to just think about, and with an attitude of gratitude, all that you have been able to accomplish in the past month, Christmas related. I'm going to try to do that, and I'm going to try not to lose count on the breathing. Okay, we're going to breathe 3 times. In 4 counts, hold 4, out 4, hold 4. Here we go. Okay, wonderful. All right, and we probably need to do a detox after all that heavy eating. We're still going to be having leftovers, but yeah, trying to get back on track. I got a new blender. I'm so excited to try it. Okay, anyways, if you don't have any water, pause the video, come back, we'll drink water together. Here we go. All right. I want to thank you so much for watching today. Do that Christmas postmortem. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.